The Vatican's criminal court is set to begin a trial of two Italian priests. One is accused of sexual abuse at a priest seminary inside of Vatican City. The other is accused of covering up the alleged crime. It is believed to be the first criminal prosecution for abuse allegedly committed in the Holy See's own territory. An order of religious sisters in Rome offers Pope Francis the use of its building to welcome refugees. Vatican official Cardinal Konrad Krajewski thanks the sisters for their response to the Pope's call to help migrants. The center will be overseen by the community of Sant'Egidio. It is a Catholic association dedicated to peacekeeping, immigration, and works of charity. Joining us now with more information is EWTN News Rome correspondent Colm Flynn. Colm, thanks so much for joining us. So why did the religious sisters decide to lend their building to Pope Francis?
Good evening, Tracy. Well, yes, some very good news from Rome today. This order of sisters, the Sister Servants of Divine Providence of Catania, they decided in response to Pope Francis's recent encyclica Fratelli Tutti to take one of their buildings that was unused here in Rome and lend it to the Vatican. Now, that's an important distinction to make. They're not donating and handing a building over. They're loaning it for an undetermined period of time to be used in the area of refugees and asylum seekers. Now, this is something that, of course, we reported on here on News Nightly last week. When he released the encyclical, Pope Francis, in it he spoke about a number of things, but the overarching thing was a wounded world. He talked about poverty, the plight of war, and something that has always been close to the Pontiff's heart, of course, immigration. He said in it that we all have to be brothers and sisters. That's the title, Fratelli Tutti, brothers and sisters together, and do everything in our power as people of faith, people of all faiths, and people who have no faith at all, to show hospitality, to give shelter to immigrants. And in response to this, the religious order reading this, they've decided to hand over one of their buildings. The building will be used as a shelter, short-term shelter, not a long-term stay, for those people who are entering through the Humanitarian Corridors into Italy. There they'll be able to get the basic needs of food, education, medicine, if they need it. And also they'll be helped to get a job once they leave the shelter so that they can integrate into Italian society and become fully independent. The shelter will be open to all immigrants who come, but will particularly focus on women who are on their own, women with vulnerable children and families. Now, in response to this, the Pope thankfully accepted it. He handed over the control and has entrusted the management of the building and the day-to-day operations to the community of Sant'Egidio. They have been looking after immigrants for a number of years. They're experts in this area. And just before we come on air, I spoke to Monica Arias. She works with the community, and she told me more about the building and what they hope to use it for.
It has 60 places and mainly family rooms and single rooms with facilities, which is very important. And it will be organized like a house, like a family, really.
Colm, do we know the condition of the building, and do we know when it will be ready to be open?
We're not exactly sure of the condition of the building, but just before we came on air, when I was speaking to Monica, she did tell me that it is fit for purpose. It has the facilities to cater for these women and these families, and they hoping to open it as soon as November the 1st, so that's in just a number of weeks. She did tell me on the phone that they have a line of immigrants who are waiting to get shelter, who need space, so there is a sense of urgency about this. Now, of course, with COVID-19, with the cases still increasing here in Italy, as in many other parts of the world, I'm sure they will have to take extra precautions in how they will ensure social distancing, how they will ensure the safety of all the women and the families who are coming in to use it.
Oh, thank you so much, Colm. Colm Flynn, EWTN Newsroom correspondent. Thank you for your report.
Thank you, Tracy.